Yes, welcome to the Mate Ready podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Tindall, and in this episode, I'm going to be unpacking the power of words and also the power of framing and how we look at different areas of our lives and how that impacts us. So this has been very present for me, this topic, this week. I was listening to a Hormozy podcast, and he was saying how much he hates the term mindset because yes, it's overused, and his message was a good one. It was the words lose their meaning if we don't define them. If we just use them as a cliche term because that's the thing to say, or we're in groups and we get rewarded for saying certain words. So if you're in a spiritual group, manifestation and alignment and all of these words might be like, yeah, that's like part of the club, right? These are the words you use if you're part of the club. Mindset for me, I like it. Like it for me, I will define it as your attitudes and beliefs towards life, towards anything. Mindset's really powerful, right? But I define it as it is a mix of your attitudes and beliefs. It is your lens in which you view situations and life. So mindset's good with me. But the message that I got from that podcast that I listened to was really, really important. It was, are you defining the words that you're using, and are you using them intentionally, and are they benefiting you and opening up your capacity for life, for achieving, or are you limiting yourself? So you may be familiar with limiting beliefs, and these are ultimately beliefs that limit your potential. So if you're running a business and you believe that by that coach over there or photographer or whatever your industry is taking your business, taking some of the pie by them being successful, and you believe that by them being successful means you can't be successful, you are absolutely limiting your belief to be a successful entrepreneur, because you believe that there is a finite piece of pie, and that even though there's tens of millions and billions of people out there, that your customer base is very, very small. What's really important is us being self-aware of the words that we use, and when they are helping us have a growth mindset, so the ability that we can learn and grow and achieve all things, or a fixed mindset that is holding us back and limiting ourselves in life, and that's a real important one. And not only the limiting, but the self-perpetuating cycle of, it might be, you use the term I can't a lot. I can't do this, I can't do that. Okay, that's a limiting belief. It might be that you describe yourself as busy, and I see this one so much. How are you doing? Busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. And it's a narrative. I'm busy. And there's this energy that comes with that term of being busy that is, I believe, really negative, is really damaging, and it perpetuates you living in a cycle of sort of this frantic energy that's just, that lacks intention, right? And this is from my observation of coaching people and people that I love, who I'm like, how are you doing? I'm busy. And every time I check in is, yeah, busy, really busy. And I can see, I'm like, there's a lack of intention, there's a lack of structure, there's a lack of clear boundaries. But I believe it's this busyness that is the problem, and it's this identification of I am busy. So what I like to do is look at how we can reframe these things in life. You know, we can have a lot on, absolutely, but we can also have that capacity to take on a lot of work, but it doesn't have to be a frantic, busy energy. It can be different. The other reason this is so in my awareness this week is because as part of a course that I'm doing, I volunteered to be coached, and the coach reflected back to me. So I talk about spinning plates. and about certain situations in my life. And he did the actions of spinning plates, and reflected back. It seems like with spinning plates that something's going to smash eventually. I was like, yeah. And then I looked at him doing the actions. I was like, that's a busy energy, and I hate that. I don't like that. And so that was like, started to crack at the awareness. I was like, okay, right, I'm doing it. Spinning plates. Not loving that analogy. That is keeping me in a position where if I don't continue spinning these plates, things in my life are going to smash. I'm like, right, I don't want that. I don't need that. And the invitation was to how can I reframe it? Now, I spend a lot of time gardening and out in nature. And the coach observed that and was like, all right, how can you put that towards your life? And I was like, not loving that analogy. I don't think it fits. And the more I've sat with it, and it's like, actually, this is interesting. This is interesting for me. How can I reframe my life with a more mindful approach? Gardening's very mindful. It's very seasonal. It's slow. You can't rush things growing. You can do things to support growth. You can do things to prep beds or, clear out. You can, but nature does its thing, right? You can't change the seasons, although the government are trying to do that. And it's a much more intentional and mindful approach to it. And I was like, right, I like it. And what it's done, it lit a fire under me to go away and be like, right, I need to reframe. I have to reframe, because again, the framing, the mindset is the lens in which we view life. If we're in this busy energy, if we're in this spinning plates, and whatever energy it is, this is where the invitation for you is to reflect on your life and look at the words that you use and the mindsets that you approach different areas of your life. Does any of it need reframing? For me, yes, it does. So I went and did a big brain dump on a piece of paper and I'm like, right, I'm getting out, what are all the different areas? What are these plates that I feel like I'm spinning? And actually I got them out. Got them out of my head on the paper, and I was like, damn, I have got a lot on. If they're not plates that I'm spinning, if it's a gardening analogy, I've got a lot of beds I need to take care of. I've got a lot of shrubs that need, I don't know, organising. Still haven't thought that analogy through fully. However, the point is, I'm like, right, now I can look back. I can look at it and with intention start to create the life that I want to live. Start getting rid of the stuff. Winter, so looking at seasonally, winter in gardening, we do winter clears. And we clear out all the dead stuff and we make ready the beds for spring, for new energy. So that's where I'm at in my life. I've reframed it and I'm like, all right, what needs clearing out? What needs finishing up? Autumn's like a time of finishing up loose ends. Winter's often a time of having ideas and sitting with those ideas. The more I sort of lean into nature and connecting with nature and listening to nature, the more, like, especially at winter time, I've got lots of ideas all the time, but I sit with them. And like, spring, new energy in spring. It's a big reason why I think New Year's resolutions fail often is because people make these new resolutions in the depths of winter. If you think people try new things and change their life in January, well, you've still got 2 months left of winter. It's in like the deep, darkest days of the year. That's not the time for new energy. Spring is. So if this is not an invitation just to not use that point. It's always a good, the new year is always good to start afresh, but also with the acknowledgement that, okay, maybe spring's better. So for me, it's about reframing. And we can do that with the words that we use. We can do that with our attitudes and beliefs. So the invitation off the back of this short podcast episode is, what areas in your life do you need to reframe? What words do you need to change? Words are really, really powerful. The more we affirm something, the more we believe it. And then that impacts our attitudes and beliefs, our mindset towards life. impacts our actions. We want to get the best out of ourselves and unlock our full potential, and we're not going to do that if we keep putting ourselves in negative energy through the words that we use and through our attitudes and beliefs and the lens in which we view life. We really want to work towards using language that unlocks our potential and have lenses that also can see the scope of possibilities and not just focusing in on the barriers. We want to look past the barriers with positive mindset, and then the barriers become challenges along the way which help us grow and become the man we want to be in the long run. So right now, for me, I'm putting pen to paper, and I'm being very intentional with what stays in my life, what comes out of my life, what words I'm using, and how I spend my time. And that's my invitation for you guys to do an inventory, do an audit of the words you use and some of your attitudes. Look at the different areas of your life, see what needs to stay, see what needs to go, and see if you have space to expand. I hope that's helpful, guys. It's been really relevant for me this week. It's been really powerful. I shared it with a client the other day, and it's clicked for him. It absolutely landed, and he was buzzing off the back of the call because he applied it to his own framing. He's a videographer, and he was like, yeah, if I was watching a series of my life, a film of my life, it'd be pretty boring right now. So he's going away and putting pen to paper and doing audit and going to be directing a new vision for his life. So we have that capacity, we have that ability. Hopefully this was helpful, team. If you enjoy the episode, as always, please like, review, subscribe, share it with another man who you think it will benefit. I'd love to hear from you. If you're enjoying it, drop me a message on the gram. Check out the website, makereadymen.com. We've got in-person events next year. We've got a brotherhood. We've got an online brotherhood that is there to give you the support with all of this stuff. You've got like-minded men in your corner. You've got the coaching support of myself and Adam Glover, addressing the pillars of Make Ready, which is the physical, the intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. Get your fitness in order, your mindset, your emotional intelligence, and your faith. Let's go. Until next time, keep showing up.